I hope all of you are doing good. And today's session is all about what different opportunities are there in electric vehicle domain, how this uh, industry is booming, what different fields are there, right? Uh, let's talk about that in more detail. So around 150 people are there who are watching this webinar as of now, and more are joining gradually. Let's start, right? So what we'll be covering today in today's topic, and till the end of the day or till the end of the webinar, you'll be understanding what different government policies are there, what different, one second, one second. Yeah. So what different government policy regulatory frameworks are there? What is the market size of electric vehicle globally and specifically for Indian context? Different growth opportunities which are there, and what are different job opportunities and skills that required for those industry. And at the end, we'll talk about what is Techlanz. Today's speaker, me, Vishal Ahuja and Lokesh Soni, we both are the co-founder at Techlanz. We have around 10 plus experience in the industry. We worked with Mahindra, Simple, Ather, ZF. We both are IIT Delhi and IIT Kharagpur alumni. So that is all about us. So you can use a question answer section today in the chat box. I want to keep it very interactive session today so that you can participate, answer, ask questions and all, right? So make it very interactive session. So first thing first, why do you think the electric vehicles are there and why they're replacing the ICE engine vehicle at the first place? Any answers to this? Yeah, someone mentioned emissions, right? A very common thing people think about it as emissions. So yes, electric vehicles are emissions free. Then people have said in the chat box, uh, operating cost, right? This is long-term pollution cutting, right? So all these things are there. And then apart from that, maintenance is less because less moving parts are there in electric vehicle. We have multiple features in electric vehicle connectivity, V2X, V2G, and all those capabilities are there, right? Someone mentioned the sustainable mobility energy cost. That's a part of operating cost. Then we have lower NVH, right? We have no noise, no vibration electric vehicle. If you have driven electric vehicle, you will love, you will not be going back to an ICE engine vehicle after feeling the comfort of that electric vehicle, right? That's the beauty of an electric vehicle in terms of comfort and convenience or NVH. Let's talk about some reasons beyond obvious, right? The previous reasons, everyone knows that, everyone understand that. But there are reasons beyond obvious which the think tank or strategic people know about it. The biggest reason, one of them is the oil import. In countries where what we are doing is we are importing huge amount of oil for the transportation sector, right? And if you see India as a country imported $162 billion worth of oil last year, which is a huge amount of money. Out of that, 70% of diesel and 99.6% of petrol was consumed in the transportation sector alone, which is a very huge number. So around 130 to 140 billion dollar we have burned every year, right? Because at the end, the fuel which we are importing or which is burned in the car, we are burning that fuel, right? That's not a capex. We are not making an infrastructure out of that money. We are just burning that, smoking that complete money. If you see, our oil prices has gone up by 50% last 5 years itself. And India is a third largest importer of the oil. These are the very crucial numbers which actually promoted the electric vehicle sector itself. So this is not the case only with India. All other countries were importing the oils. There is emissions, obviously, but there is a huge physical deficit on every country, right? India being the third largest country, they realized long back when the electric mobility started happening. Actually, it is very prominent and it's very important for a country to reduce the oil imports so that they can reduce the physical deficit on the country. That is the reason government is also reducing the oil import, and promoting the electric vehicle. Now, when you have to reduce the oil import, you cannot just stop the cars, right? You have to give alternative solutions to the customers. That is how government started pushing towards the electric vehicle, right? So what government did, they first launched a FAME subsidy. FAME subsidy was launched in 2015, and with that they given initial some incentive. Then a big scheme or FAME 2 a revision came, where they launched a budget of 10,000 crore with 3 years plan, and it was extended further till last year or this April. If you see who are the beneficiaries of the FAME 2 subsidy, around 7,000 electric buses were planned under this subsidy. 5 lakh electric three-wheelers were planned under the subsidy. 5,500 four-wheelers were planned under the subsidy. And 10 lakh electric two-wheelers were planned under the subsidy. We have seen a massive growth in each of these sector, but electric two-wheeler has surpassed this budget. So already we have sold more than 10 lakh electric two-wheeler under the FAME subsidy. Recently, when this FAME subsidy got over, temporary basis, government has launched EMPS scheme, which is the outlay of 500 CR for next 4 months, started from April, right? Now, you know everyone that election seasons are going right now, and after that elections will be over. So there is a much anticipated scheme by the government, which is FAME 3, which is very much required to keep pushing the electric mobility, because still the electric vehicles are expensive because the batteries are expensive, and there is a very good plan or projection the electric vehicle cost will come down because battery costs are coming down drastically over the last few years, right? So there is a good projection that electric vehicle cost will compete with the ICE engine and will come at par with the ICE engine in very near future. Till that time, it's very important for the government to provide the subsidy so we keep on doing the innovation and complete ecosystem can support, right? Correct. Now, what else is government doing? Government wanted to reduce the import of multiple things, not only oil, right? So, the country want to become self-sustainable. That is how the PLI scheme came into picture, which is called production linked incentive. That means if you are providing or manufacturing things in India, you're manufacturing things locally, government will provide you some incentive, some budget, or some investment to your organization. That is how the government is promoting the localization or manufacturing or made in India schemes. Now, if you see out of this complete PLI scheme, automotive sector has the highest a pie of the chunk, right? 29% of that complete 2 lakh crore PLI scheme is given to the automotive and various sectors, right? And overall 26,000 crore budget was approved for this, for the PLI scheme, for the manufacturing of electrical vehicle and its component local in India, so that we can reduce the reliance on other countries like China for the import of the parts. Because till last year or till this year, we still import many electrical parts, be it BMS, motor controller, because we don't have still the manufacturing capacity in the country, so that we can leverage the economics of scale. That is the reason government is pushing and giving these kind of subsidy to the Indian businessmen and owners, so that they can actually increase the production capacity and we can leverage the economics of scale, and then we can make in India and export to the country, other countries. Similar thing is happening in other countries also, right? But now why I'm talking about this? Why in this session of job opportunities, why I'm talking about this? Please understand that any movement which is supported by the government is always very massive, right? If a person want to invent something for the sake of inventing or for the technology investment, that may not get realized. But if you have a government support and there is a government think tank who's pushing some initiative, then the scale is always very massive. That's the reason I covered all these 4 slides, to help you understand what is the government play in this and how the government is thinking in the long term solution. Please keep this always in mind. It's not about the Tesla has started selling electric vehicle, that's how everyone started selling electric vehicles. Not like that. It's beyond the emissions and beyond that. It's all about the complete localization, reducing of oil import and all those things. And government has a huge role to play in this. And when government push something, the things get materialized much faster. Let's talk about next thing. So how the electric vehicle market is growing globally. If you see in the last 10 years go globally, the electric vehicle volume has gone 10 times approximately, right? If you compare the numbers with 2012 versus 2021, if you see the numbers are massive. Approximately 10 time increase has happened in the electric vehicle volumes, and which is very important, right? We have seen in this last 10 years only, you have seen Tesla, BYD, so many players has come in the market, Ola, Ather, right? The last decade has been very transformative for the electric vehicle industry. So many innovations happen, right? But if you see, this is just a tip of the iceberg. The projection is much more bigger than this. If you see next 10 years, we are sitting at $255 billion industry as of now, but next 10 years is going to become 10 times again. So the projections are much more bigger. So we have seen just a minuscule amount of growth in the electric vehicle industry. The amount of growth which is possible in electric vehicle industry is much more massive. So let's understand that as well. Now, this is the global scale. What about the Indian context? Indian context, you have seen that every other vehicle you can see in the market, Ola, Ather and all. But that's again very minuscule amount. You are sitting in 2024, which is very small amount of the pie, right? We are not, if you see, still around 5% of electric two-wheelers are electric. The two-wheelers sold in the country are electric. There is a huge amount of scope for electric two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler. We are not selling even 1% of cars as electric. So the growth is massive. So the CAGR projected by the market research is around 100%. That means every year, if you see, we are doubling the number of electric vehicles in the country, which is a huge, massive, right? If you compare with this 2024 number in next 6 years, you see the scale of growth which is there. So as a country, as an Indian country also, we have a huge opportunity. We should understand this, right? And what is happening? Because of this, if you see, there are multiple titans which has emerged in the segment. Be it two-wheeler, we have seen Ola, Ather, TVS very aggressively. They're playing in the market in two-wheeler space. We have three-wheeler space, Mahindra Electric, Vice Electric, Piaggio, right? We have four-wheeler space, Tata, MG, Hyundai, Mahindra. We have electric buses, PMI, Electra, Tata. You can see electric buses now everywhere, be it Bangalore and all the tier one cities, be in Pune, right? Or be it Delhi, they are massively changing the complete ecosystem of transportation, right? And then in the truck also we have this Tata, IPL, Tech, Electra. It's very important to see how these major players are playing their role. But more fascinating is to know that there are more than 500 electric vehicle manufacturing companies in the country till date. It's very important because every month there is, or every week there is new company which is coming. They're innovating and doing something new in their space, right? And it's not only the electric vehicle manufacturer. The ecosystem is much more bigger than that. It's not that only you have option to go in the OEM which is making the vehicle. The ecosystem is expanding in multiple folds. If you see, there are OEMs, but there is a charging infrastructure, right, which is replacing the traditional oil fuel pumps, because IOCL, BPCL, those were the traditional fuel pumps. We need to import, you have to control the complete ecosystem of fuel. In case of electric vehicles, that is not required. The electricity is everywhere. You just have to set up your charging station and the ecosystem around that, right? So many players are coming in the picture with the charging infrastructure itself. Then we have battery tech space. You have known about the name of Sun Mobility, Charge Grid, Battery Smart, right? They are providing you the swapping stations. Then we have manufacturers also, Signy, Log9, right? Loham, some other companies, they're building the cells also. They're building the complete battery pack also in the country, right? Apart from that, we have enablers which are giving the licenses, finances, insurance around all these spaces, because without financing, without insurance, thus things become less sustainable in nature. Because if you have to achieve the economics of scale or the scalability of the revolution, financing becomes very important, because still the 70% of the country is in rural area where they need financing options. So these are also very important systems, right? Then we have mobility as a service. You have seen Yulu everywhere across Bangalore. You have seen Zip Electric in northern part of India. You have seen Blue vehicles, right? It is very important that all these mobility services also playing a big role in the landscape, right? It's very important to understand it's not only OEM, the ecosystem is much bigger than what you think of. So there are still growth opportunities. There are recyclers of, if you see, very less recyclers are the lithium ion batteries, because after 4 or 5 years, when battery has to be replaced across all these vehicles, there needs to be recycler, right? At the end, you have to recycle these materials so that you can make a complete ecosystem, complete cycling economy around that, right? So how the new opportunities are growth is happening in the industry. As per the report, if you see, in next 10 years, the shift will happen from traditional growth opportunity to the new mobility technologies. So the companies who are earning from traditional ICE engine vehicles, their major shift will happen towards the new mobility technologies. So around 40% of their revenue will come from emerging profit pool, which includes autonomous vehicles and electric vehicles, right? Data and connectivity and on-demand mobility. So if you see that traditionally you had 100% selling by your car, ICE engine car. Now, if you see that profit pool is shifting, 40% will be coming from the new technologies, which is your AI, data, autonomous vehicle, electric mobility, and all those things. And all the companies in the electric vehicle domain are well aware of this, right? That is how the systems are evolving. And now traditional OEMs have to mature, right, for this. So what they are doing? So they started hiring because they have to prepare for the future. They are bracing themselves because like AI, EV is also a new domain, right? Like for AI is for IT field, EV is for hardcore engineering field. There is a talent hunt across multiple organizations. They are hiring for different roles, right? They are going to the institution, and the people who have the skill set, right skill set, are getting hired by the top companies very easily. Traditionally the education system is not prepared for it because it takes time for education system to evolve to take care of all these new advancements, because advancements are very fast. Every year or every 6 months, new battery technology is coming in the market. If you see, the evolution is not happening in the other fields like motor controller. Motor has been there from the decades, like from centuries now, right? What evolution is happening is around battery, because 60% of the cost of the electric vehicle is from battery. So that is dominating the complete electric vehicle domain and the software. So there are two major systems which are actually revolutionizing the electric vehicle field. One is battery, one is the software. We'll talk about that in much more detail subsequently. So as the companies are hiring more and more people, there is more and more trainers, skill set providers also there in the market, right? Let's talk about that in much more detail. So what is changing in EV at the first place? Let's understand that. Why these traditional OEMs, Tata, Mahindra, Mercedes, Bajaj, why they're evolving and why they're hiring spree? Because the things are changing. Earlier, there were 2000 plus moving parts. Those are mechanical parts in nature. Now only one electric motor is there, right? There are less moving parts in the vehicle right now. EVs has 100 times lesser parts than an ICE engine vehicle. So you now don't need that many CAD designers to make those many parts. You need something else, right? Because now all these parts has been replaced by a single motor, right? So the system is changing. So instead of designer, they're asking for different roles. So what are the systems which are changing? So if you see, we are removing the internal combustion engines. We are going away with the alternator and starter. We are going away from the fuel and exhaust systems. What we are including, what we are adding the battery packs, battery thermal management, electric motor. Cooling system remains same. Slight changes are there. We have chillers and all those things. Gearbox also changes. We have single speed gearboxes now. What we are adding further, we are adding huge amount of power electronics in the vehicles. We have converters, inverters, power electronics controller, thermal management, high voltage wiring, multiple sensors, huge amount of sensors, I would say, right? Then we have charger, DC-DC converter. All these things we're adding in the electric vehicle. So the growth shift is happening. So instead of these traditional components, the shift is happening on these new age components. So there is a need of more engineers in these domains. So what are those things? Which are the functions which are created with the new age mobility? We have electronics hardware, which is a major thing, right? Which is getting added up in electric vehicle. We have embedded system firmware, which is getting added up, right? We have software, OS, AOSP, cloud, right? HMI, all those things are getting added up where the demand is increasing. We have data telematics, right? Because electric vehicle produce huge amount of data. Traditional ICE engine vehicle also used to produce the data, but they were not so connected. In EVs, everything is connected. So you have huge number of sensors. Everything is producing data. Your BMS and motor controller, charger, everything is producing 100 signals. All this data has to be processed, right? Then we have AI. We have ADAS system, autonomous driving, which is also revolutionizing the thing. You have multiple radars, cameras, sensors, right? Which is getting added up in the vehicle, and sensor fusion is happening. So all those roles are getting added up also. Apart from that, on the electronic side, we have chargers. Complete charger ecosystem is also there, which is getting added up. This is the new functions which are getting created in the EV domain. We have motor and motor controller. Last but not the least, the complete battery system, right? Which is accounting 60% of the vehicle total cost as of now, right? So it is very important. So all these new functions are getting created in the electric vehicle domain, which is very important. And you should understand that these are new areas, right? So uh, the demand on all these areas now in the market. It's very important for you to leverage that demand and prepare yourself for that, right? So one common question comes like, I'm from different background, I'm from different branches, like I'm from CSIT or chemical, electrical electronics, mechanical, manufacturing, industrial engineering, instrumentation technology. So what is important for me, right? And how mapping happens. So there are different domains which I talk about: motor controller, charger, DC BMS, right? So in which role I can go? Generally, what industry is saying, we have seen is in the industry, generally the CSIT or the IT people goes in software, AOSP, OS, firmware, Linux, right? Telematics, AI, and ADAS. This is general trend which is there. So people coming out of this domain go in these areas in the automotive field, right? People coming off chemical domain, they have options to go to BMS algorithm, cell modeling, battery packaging. Again, being again common, software, firmware, telematics. People migrate there also. People from electric vehicle domain go everywhere. Electrical electronic instrumentation. This is a common trend. A person learns a coding environment, go to the non-technical or maybe the non-code tech, domains also, like softwares. And similarly, mechanical, manufacturing, industrial, right? So they also go everywhere. You will find mechanical, electrical, electronics, and instrumentation people in all the domains, right? So it's not about the actually domain. It's all about the right skill set. It's not about the degree. Please understand. The notion of having a degree and then getting a job is changing drastically now. It's all about getting the right skill set. I have known some people very closely that they have dropped out of college. They have not gone to college. Some people are there who from BCom industry. They have done the BCom BBA. They are building the mobile apps. There are some people who are done the commerce. They are building UI UX. It's not about the degree anymore because information is at fingertip. Everyone can learn everything now. All the multiple courses are there. Too much information. Actually, today in the today's world, it's information overload, I would say. Too much information is there, right? Now people have started migrating from Google search to Chat GPT now because people get overwhelmed when they search something on the Google. So they try to find a solution on for their answer on the Chat GPT itself because it gives you concise single answer, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not about the degree anymore. It's about the skill set. Do you have the tenacity to learn, capacity to learn and grow, right? And you should be having a strong passion towards something so that you can go in depth and learn that skill set. Let's understand what are the skill set requirement. So what happened? People have a tendency to understand that, okay, I want to take electric vehicle complete course. It does not happen that way. So you have to learn a specific skill set for your growth. I have taken an example of battery for suppose. In a battery team, there are multiple roles: cell modeling, BMS, firmware algorithms, battery pack, right? So what are the skill set requirement for cell modeling? You should know cell fundamental, cell electrochemistry, cell modeling, cell selection, cell testing, cell FMEA, right? And etc. etc. I've not mentioned all the things as of now. And if you're on BMS team, you should know BMS hardware, component selection, PCB designing, requirement engineering, integration, and all those things. If you are in a firmware, you should know what's requirement engineering, how the microcontroller selection happens, how the firmware development happens, how the MBD development happens, right? How the integration happened of all these algorithms, how to develop the SOC algorithm, SOH algorithm, right? How different safety algorithms are developed, how to integrate those things. If you're a battery pack engineer, you should know what is the complete requirement of a battery pack, how different mechanical packaging is happening, electrical packaging is happening, how the complete system is getting integrated, be it BMS, hardware, wiring harnesses, and how the thermals are taking care into place. So all these people together becomes a battery team, right? So you can have multiple knowledge. We'll talk in more detail in next slide. So if you see a corporate hierarchy, generally what happens? You have a CTO, right? Under which there are two teams, electrical team and mechanical team. This is traditional OEM four-wheel industry, I'm saying, which has happened over here, right? Because I've worked most of my years of experiences in four-wheel industry with some three-wheeler also and two-wheeler also. So I was fortunate enough to work in all the industries, be it four-wheeler, be it three-wheeler, be it two-wheeler, right? So typically, this is a traditional approach in all the OEMs. You will see that. So there is electrical team, this mechanical team. Under the electrical team, like so, electrical team is headed by a senior VP or senior chief engineer having 15 to 25 years experience, right? Under that, they have multiple teams: battery, motor controller, charger, software, and so forth, right? Under that battery team, let's for example, you have BMS hardware, BMS firmware, BMS algo, battery packaging, cell battery testing, right? Under that BMS hardware, you have multiple engineers. So please understand, it's ecosystem. And at this role, for suppose when you're heading a BMS hardware team, you are a HOD of that department, you are heading multiple team people over here, right? You are actually multiple people are reporting to you on this particular field. What I have seen is people are in the unfortunately which is happening, there are multiple courses on electric vehicle technology and they are teaching you everything. Please understand, it will not help you because you cannot become a CTO just like that, because a CTO level person is more on a management side rather than technical side. He should know overview of all these things, but as an engineer, when you transition to electric vehicle, you should be knowing the fundamental, or you should be specific to some other areas. If you want to lead a team of battery, then you should know all these things. Or if you want to grow very fast, for suppose you learn BMS hardware, master it, right? This is your strength area, and you know all these things. Your chances of becoming battery head are very strong, right? So this all the growth happen based on your skill set. So if you are at very early stage, just starting up, you should focus on single areas and you should have a hands on other areas also, some knowledge about other areas also, and then you should think about your projection plan. This is how the skill set development happens. It's not like that you will learn about making a car and people will hire you to make a car. It does not happen that way. In traditional OEMs, it's all about every individual focus on individual areas, right? So don't go for the or don't think that okay, I should learn the electric vehicle completely. You cannot learn that. Please understand this. You can gradually grow on these areas and you can actually know about other areas, but you cannot contribute that much. So you should be a master of one or master of two three components and jack of other components, right? Or other subsystems. As you grow in your domain or cross domain, if you're switching, for suppose one possibility is there that okay, you are heading a motor controller team, now you want to also add battery team, so then you should learn about the complete battery, because that will add you, because you already have one domain expertise, you're adding other domain expertise. Similarly, example is for the motor and motor gearbox, right? So you have in the motor team, you have motor simulation, motor hardware, motor electromagnetics, motor packaging, gearbox and integration, right? Similarly, all these things are there and you have a team under every vertical. You have 4 or 5 people which are working in that area and everyone is focused on very small area, so that expertise is getting created. People hire expert, people don't hire journalist at the engineer level. Please understand, every job role have a specific requirement. The more knowledge you have, the better you grow, faster you grow, but still you'll be working on single areas to start with. This is very important message I want to convey to you, because right now what I have seen, multiple people who want to build their career in electric vehicle domain, they say okay, I'll want to learn electric vehicle, I'll learn all the things, It does not happen that way. Please understand. You reduce your chances of hiring because then you don't work on high level, you don't work on very depth project. You should be having a very high level expertise on certain areas to grow your career in electric vehicle domain. This is the most important message I want to convey at this moment. Become expert as a country. It's very important for us also, right? So that we can innovate on those areas and we can actually become self-sustainable, because when I say electric vehicle domain is growing, manufacturing is growing, other things are growing, it is very important that we become expert in making those components. We reduce our reliance on other countries because R&D happens on specific areas. So you have to choose your areas in which area you want to work, become master of that area. That's how you increase your chances of hiring. This is the most important message in today's session which I want to give you. Okay. Now people have this thought process in which area I should go. There are multiple areas we talked about, right? Software engineering, battery, and all those. Now, if you see what areas are commanding high salary, traditionally we have seen the software engineer has a higher salary packages, right? Across industry, because as India, we were majorly IT service providers traditionally from last around many 20 years now. And but gradually, since the rise of electric mobility, government is providing all the famed subsidy, PLI scheme, and all those things. The requirement for the hardware engineers and core team is increasing also. It is very important, right? How this is increasing? So the battery engineer demand, embedded firmware engineer demand, hardware engineer demand is also rising, and their salary is also increasing at and coming at par or sometimes better than software engineers. This is something very important to understand that, and why it is happening, right? We'll talk about next slide. If you see again, still you have a doubt to understand why which domain I should choose, hardware or software. It's not very clearly defined, right? uh, it's a very thin line between hardware and software now in the current age, because AI also advancing. If you see any component of the car right now, let's talk about adaptive cruise control, right? Only software cannot do it. You need hardware also for this: collision sensor, climate control, anti-lock brakes, traction control. So hardware and software is too much intermingled together. There is a hardware which is controlled by the software, right? We talk about the user experience. There is a hardware which is controlled by the software. So at each and every junction of electric mobility, there is a hardware and software amalgamation. So both the fields are extremely important, right? Because hardware is also becoming very complex now. It's not very easy. If you see the current electronics, they're not very easy to build now, right? They're complicated systems. There are systems on chips, electronic control unit, domain controllers, high performance computer. So that is also there. So it's an amalgamation of all these things together, which make a proper good automotive sector. If you see Tesla, BYD, and all the his example, they did not only invent on software, they invented on hardware as well. Classical example is Tesla. They invented the first battery technology, right? Their battery technology was so advanced and so reliable. They promised 100, I think, unlimited kilometer warranty initially, right? And they said their battery system is unique. Then they included the tabless battery design. The innovation in the battery technology is giving rise to the electric mobility. It's not software which is actually giving rise to electric mobility. It's very important to understand. Electric mobility sustainable sustenance is depending on battery. If the battery cost is not reducing, if the battery innovations are not happening, the electric vehicle will not be sustainable, right? That is why huge amount of people are working on battery technology, and other areas are there to support that. So software make it more reliant, more reliable, right? Make more connected, add more feature to it, right? So there are hardware and software which are both important from the electric mobility point of view. Now, if you see from Indian context, how the growth is there from the hardware perspective on manufacturing industry, if you see over the last 2 decades, the manufacturing industry was declining, right? The growth was declining because the focus was more on a IT side of it. The IT infrastructure, Infosys, TCS, and all those things were booming. We have seen the IT industry is declining now gradually, right? And the manufacturing industry is going because government is pushing huge on this. If you see in next 5 years, actually 2022 to 2030, the manufacturer was supposed to go by 3 times almost, which is a very big thing. That means the manufacturing sectors, the job opportunity will go by 3 times. their opportunities will go 3 times, the demand of engineers will go by 3 times. So complete ecosystem is evolving, right? It is very, very important to understand this. One thing I want to add is not only R&D engineers, it's also the manufacturing engineers or manufacturing workforce, which is also very important. You don't think that the manufacturing is a menial job. A classical example is the Gigafactory, right? When we talk about the Tesla, then when they made about their casting, if you know about that, they made giga castings and all. It was manufacturing technology. If you follow all these big OEMs and all, they're focusing on manufacturing technologies. Please understand, manufacturing technology is also very important. If you are from manufacturing background, please focus there also. You have a huge opportunity to grow there, because manufacturing is becoming very important. It's not only about electrical, electronics, mechanical. It's also about industrial engineering, manufacturing, which is very important for the country or as your own career path, because we need the people to innovate in that sector as well, right? So how to prepare for this change, how to prepare for this transition, what you should be knowing, how you should prepare for this. First of all, you should be having very strong fundamental, theoretical fundamental for this, which is very important to build something on a first principle approach. If you don't have the strong fundamental theoretical knowledge, you cannot innovate and you cannot understand in depth of it. So you should build the very strong theoretical fundamental aspect of whatever you're learning, whatever domain you have chosen, right? Then you should build on the real life projects. It should be hard projects, whatever the domain you are in, software, hardware. If you're not build the hard projects, if you're not build the projects, at least 3 4 5 projects, you'll not be having hands-on experience, which is important for you to grow and understand in depth. Because when you build the projects, you will fail multiple times, and failure teaches you more than success. Please understand, this is very important. So you should learn how to build the projects. You should make multiple projects, fail multiple times, and then grow as a engineer. Apart from that, you know that multiple tools are there now. Every month their new tool is coming. I'm not talking about AI tools only. There are AI tools also. There are tools like platform, coding platform. There are tools to build your own PCB designs, right? AI driven, AI assisted designs, right? Your own technology tools, technology stack. ChatGPT is a classical example. You should know how to use, you should know how to make the diagrams. All those tools and technologies help you do the things much more faster. It is very important, please understand this, right? So you should also learn technical as well as these tools and technologies to help you grow. Apart from that, you should also know the latest technology trends in the field. If you're not aware of this, your chances of growth becomes very limited, because every month, every day, actually new innovation is coming. If you know about 5 years before, or maybe 2 3 years before, NMC was a big word. NMC, everyone was going NMC 6222811. Now shifts are happening toward LFP. New technologies are coming, LMFP, right? Solid state batteries. If you're not aware of those technologies, software technologies, motor technologies, you will limit yourself, right? You need some active community also, so that you understand. See what happens in a community. Like for suppose there are 1,000 members, everyone spend 1 minute to share the knowledge, right? If there are 1,000 members, everyone give 1 minute of knowledge. This is 1,000 minute of knowledge, right? That is very important in the community. Classical example is Stack Overflow, right? Before Chat GPT, Stack Overflow was go-to solution for all kind of software problems, right? If you have some doubt, you just search on the internet, you get some Stack Overflow solution where someone has solved that problem and get the solution. It's very easy in IT domain because the knowledge resource is very rich, and Chat GPT was able to leverage that and convert to a condensed form. Unfortunately, hardware and core engineering domain was very conservative and sharing the knowledge. That is the reason there is no such community as such in the industry as of now for sharing the core knowledge. People don't tell you about the secrets of building a battery pack, BMS, what different fields are there. And the mentors also, if you see, they have their own vested interested to not to tell them, because they believe someone else become ahead of them. The open source kind of knowledge which is available for the IT industry, that is still very less. I'll talk about in much more detail. So you should be participating in this kind of community and mentorship sessions where people share the knowledge, and You can discuss the ideas and brainstorm out the problems. Once you have all these things, you should be building your strong portfolio, building your multiple projects, technology trends, blog articles, and then you should be making a network, good network. Network is very important. So, and you should demonstrate your work which you have done. That will help you to get the references and recommendation from the industry leaders, which is very important. That is how you build a complete portfolio, and this is a path, this is a journey. It's not a milestone, please understand. If you take one course or something like that, if you do one thing, it does not happen that way. The journey, it's a learning journey. If you have to transition your career in electric vehicle domain, you should be doing all those things gradually over the period of time, and then you can become successful in this industry. Okay. One common question happens, like, for suppose, okay, I want to learn this. What are the best way for me to learn? The information is already there. One way is to have a mentored course. One way is to have a self-learning, because multiple YouTube channels and all those things, Udemy, recorded content is there. Uh, what I believe in that, if you are starting from basics, if you don't have a subject matter knowledge or 0 to 10% knowledge, you should take a mentored course. If you already have sufficient knowledge about the subject, right, then you should go for self-learning knowledge, because you know what are the things, 60%, around 70% you know about it, and then you know what's the ecosystem around that, and then you're trying to solve a specific problem, right? You, for suppose, you are already working in battery domain and you are working on SOC algorithm. Now you want to learn SOH algorithm. You can self-learn it. You don't need a training for SOH algorithm, because you already know MATLAB, Simulink, SOC algorithm, algorithm developments and all. You can self-learn that very easily. It becomes easy for you. Or you want to learn the BMS firmware, it's easy for you to learn because you have worked in the ecosystem, you know how these systems are operating. But if you are new in the field, you don't know anything about it. You don't know the wireframe or outline about it. It's become very difficult, because as I mentioned earlier, this is the age of information overload. It's very easy to get lost, right? If you don't know what is right thing to study, you can get lost very easily. Second thing is, if you want to transition in new domain, right, you should go for a mentor course. But if you want to upskill in same domain, you can go for self-learning, because I already mentioned you, if you already work in battery domain, you know battery firmware, software, you want to learn BMS hardware, you can learn that. If you, because you're in the same domain, people will be, you're an ecosystem, and you can understand from them how to learn, what to learn, and all those things. But if you want to transition to no domain, for suppose you're in motor controller or motor team, now you want to learn battery, then you should take a mentored course. Or you are not into automotive domain, like you're not into electric mobility itself, then you should take a mentored course, so that you have a complete outline and proper support for that. What else is there? If you're a working professional, you have lack of time, you have very busy schedule, you don't have time to search the resources and all those things. You have fixed timeline that, okay, I have to transition in this much time, and have fixed timeline for my career growth, then you should take mentor course. Because it becomes very difficult in self learning, because self learning is important when you have time abundance. You have huge time to search everything, try to get the resources, right resources, and it's very easy to go in the rabbit hole. What happens in self-learning case, you will watch one video, then you will watch second video, you will watch the later video with that, or you will read the blog, you will have some doubt about that, you will go in the rabbit hole. It's just the engineering's problem, right? Every engineer has this. If a person is going in deep of that, very easy to go in the rabbit hole. So uh, but it develops the understanding deeper also, but you get lost in the process. So it is one way or another which one you want to choose. If you, if you're a person who need external push to be on track, right, then its mentor courses are important, because they keep you on a fixed timeline, they push you to deliver the projects, they push you to get the assignments done. But if you're a very self-motivated person, an extremely different disciplined person, you can go for a self-learning. If you know that, okay, I, like, you are very disciplined person, you have control on completely yourself, you can dedicate, okay, 3 hours 4 days each day on yourself, then you can actually go for self-learning if you have a right direction with you. What we believe at Techlanz, that, or as a person, I believe you should be having mix of both, because I have also done multiple mentor course myself. I keep on learning new things every day. I always a part of some course, because I believe that courses give me the structure and timeline, and then on top of it, you have to self-learn. You cannot rely completely on third party if you don't have a motivation to learn. And they always cover 60% or 80%, 20%, you go more deeper on top of it. I have done myself multiple courses with multiple institutes. So this is approach which I have felt always been useful for me, having a mix of both, right? Learning by myself, also going deeper in the subject, as well as having a fixed outline or structure of the course, what I have to study when. So these both the things has been useful for me from, I think, from my school days. So this has been useful for me. I recommend these kind of approaches, right? This is all about the complete this one. And what is Techlanz? So let me tell you what Techlanz is, who we are. We are a complete ecosystem around electric vehicles. We support for the fast-paced EV development. We provide engineering services. We provide training programs for industry experts. We have real hardware which we ship you to your home so that you can actually learn on real life projects. We conduct multiple webinars and blogs by on technology trends by multiple industry experts. We have partnership with multiple companies on this. We have our own trainers which are working in the industry. Most importantly, we are working on a global open source engineering community, EV engineering community. This is something we are striving to build because we feel this is missing in the country or in the completely global. There is no hardcore engineering community like Stack Overflow or like other people where people can discuss and get the solution to their problems. We have two things for that. So what we have built around, we have a website, you can go through that. We have courses, multiple courses which are there on the website. You can go to the link also. We have WhatsApp community where we are brainstorming, discussing the ideas. I invite all of you to join that WhatsApp community. We are building an online community also like Stack Overflow. And I'm mentioning Stack Overflow because this is very common name for all of you. I'm not promoting Stack Overflow. I'm just saying that it's a good community for IT engineers. Similarly, thing is missing for the core hardware engineer, which we are building. So that is something which we are building as of now. And I encourage all of you to join our communities, participate in our course at website, go to our articles and all, and contribute as much as you can, right? And with this, I end my session. I'll share the link of this with you on the chat box so that you can go through the things which we are sharing with you. Okay, where is my Zoom? Sometime it gets, okay. Any idea how to, yeah. So let me put it over here, right? So you can go through the things, whatever the offerings we have in different areas. I think we have multiple questions now. Let me see the questions. Any, and it's the is open for the question answer now. Feel free to ask any questions in any field which you have. So yes, I'll be sharing the session. The session will be available on LinkedIn, also on the YouTube channel. I'll be sharing the link with you people with the same channel because you have been addressed that. Second question is Shubham. I'm from automotive domain. How much time it would take to get sufficient EV knowledge? So Shubham, as I mentioned, it's not a milestone. Please understand, it's an journey, right? So you should know which area you want to focus in, right? Are you focusing on battery? Are you focusing on motor? So start with one area and then grow your expertise in that area. It is very important. So first start with small thing, then grow your expertise. Something very important. What all support and services do you offer for a startup in EVs? All kind of support. You can go to the services page. We provide you complete system engineering. We provide model-based development, data analytics, IoT. We also provide hardware development, custom vehicle development, because we ourselves, I was a co-founder at CTU and my one of the startups, we built a complete vehicle, right? So we have complete ecosystem. We have not published everything on the website because it's too cumbersome for people to follow, right? So you can contact us, we'll let you know. Please reply. Anonymous attendee, please reply to what? Less engine part. Can you please repeat the question? Someone mentioned that. Please reply. Yeah. Someone asked me, I'm focusing on battery testing. Which course I should go for? Battery testing. So Okay, so if you are going for a battery testing, I think you should focus on cell testing, then battery testing, right? And everything is part of our course. Also, if you want to enroll, you can go through that and you can connect with us. I don't know about, because what I have seen when I was doing the benchmarking or references online, I could not find any course who is offering very depth of knowledge around battery. That's the reason we have launched our course also. You can go for our course to understand we are offering everything. What is homologation requirement? What is cell testing requirement? You can see our course also. I think someone can, Gaurav, can you post a link over there that will be useful for the learners? How would I find an internship? My desire to get started in the industry. And yes, we offer the internship also. So if you are interested, please send a message, drop out a message to us. So this is our message, right? You can drop a message to us, send a mail to us. We offer the internship also, right? How to calculate the prismatic cell tap laser welding? And this is very specific question, Satish. Cell tap welding area. There are multiple resources. You can reach out to us. We'll help you with this also, right? Because in this webinar, it's very difficult to answer technically all these things in the live webinar. Please reach out to us. We'll help you with this. Yeah, thanks, Suvan. What is the scope of app development for EV vehicles infotainment? The app development scope is very high because it's not only the thing, the soft hardware is there, software is equally important. Let's talk about the connected apps and all those things, right? You have telematics, you have connectivity, you have charging and all those things. So all those things are important. So the app development becomes a part of inherent part of electric vehicle. You have to see the charges of the vehicle. You have to understand whether my vehicle is charged, which charging station is nearby, right? All those things are part of the app development. Uh, Motors on two-wheel electric. Let me know how to enhance my knowledge and guide. Okay, so motor. Uh, okay, if okay, so motor industry. If you see next 2 months, we're launching our motor course also. Complete how to build a motor and motor controller. If you are interested in that, you can enroll, send a mail to us also. We are launching in next month only that course. So June, our batch starting for the battery, and July we are starting for motor controller, right? And you can also learn the fundamentals from the internet. But if you are looking for a structured program, we are launching in month of July. You can go for that program also if you want. I've done my automobile engineering, but right now I'm working at Amazon at risk supplier. If you have shipped to even to one battery model work, which course I should take and what is the duration of it? So I have already told you that. Can you, Gaurav, can you post on the chat box what course we are offering? The battery plus BMS course work we are offering, where you will learn everything from battery development, cell development, BMS development, and one important thing what we are doing is also we are giving you hardware, so we are giving a mini lab kind of setup, so you can learn how to code an actual hardware BMS module. And no one is teaching right now how to build a BMS hardware. We are training you how to build a BMS hardware also, so that you are capable of building your own BMS and supply and become an entrepreneur also. You can build a battery company. We are aspiring to become that kind of provider, so that we can generate entrepreneurs out of our course. So you can look at our courses, battery plus BMS bootcamp. If you're interested, let us know. We'll talk about in more detail. Thanks, Kaushik. I'm a beginner in automotive engineering looking for internship. Every practical experience in environmental project and external. Currently upskilling in a way. We are providing internship also. Luckman, you can definitely reach out to us. We'll discuss about this. Please send us a mail or message on the WhatsApp. We'll discuss about this. For motor controller knowledge, how can we know? Can you please elaborate about this? How motor controller knowledge, how can we know? Motor control is a strong subject. We have industry expert with us also who is working in the industry and supporting us. So we are in our next course, we are teaching you how to build a motor controller from scratch, including the hardware as well as software. So you can learn for the course. Sudhanshu, so if you see typical electric vehicle, he asked for the fees of the course. Typical courses which are in the industry, which are there, they are taking from 1.5 lakh to 2.5 lakh. Our battery course, which we are launching now, is at 75,000 rupees for 6 months duration, and that includes the hardware. So we are shipping you a hardware where you can perform all the SOC algorithm development, firmware development. There is a cell inside that. I don't have a hardware with me, right? I would have shown you, right, the hardware itself. So we can do the charging, discharging of the hardware cell. You can understand how the cell behaves in multiple conditions. It's a part of the hardware, part of the course itself. I'm fully aware. So Abhitesh, Sudhanshu can reach out to us if required. Next question is, I'm fully aware about the hub motors in detail, interested in controller. That's why I said our next course, which is getting launched in July, we are teaching you how to build a motor controller. If you're interested in that, please send a message to us. We'll try to prioritize for you also. Which one is capable of mechanical background? Harisab, I'll be very honest with you. I'm from mechanical engineering background, but trust me, I have worked in all the areas, being software, being hardware, being electronics, electrical. Yesterday, I was sitting one of my friend who was from mechanical background. He went to US for MS around 10 years back. He's building the front end application. He's a DevOps engineer. So as I showed you earlier, mechanical engineers or electrical engineers, they're not bound by their degree. It's about a skill set. So don't limit your thought process or mindset. Don't, okay, I'm from this background, I am limited by that. It's not like that. Information is available. You should just need the right mindset to learn, and you'll be able to learn many things. For Rajesh Upadhyay, for industry professional, what sort of training? So our training programs are for industry professional, Rajesh, because we are offering weekend programs, right? It's not the weekday program. So for 6 months, you'll be learning every Saturday or Sunday, 3 hours in the morning, and we have training programs such a way that you learn that industry relevant thing. It's not theoretical knowledge we are providing. We are starting from fundamental and taking you to the top end, means you learn how to select the microcontroller, different components of it. And since every one of us, there are around 7 8 trainers for one program. Our battery plus BMS bootcamp is for 6 months, and around different trainers are taking that program. Each one of us taking a separate module which they have the expertise in. It's not like the one person is just learning somewhere and teaching. It's not like that, right? So you are learning from industry experts only. So that way we want to keep the training programs which is very industry specific. I hope I answered your question. You can ask again if something. Parul Pandey, I'm fresher. Can I do a project provided by Techlanz? I didn't know the EV course. Great learning. You cannot just enroll for the Techlanz projects. You can enroll for the internship if you're interested, or you can take some other course, right? You cannot take the projects from the Techlanz when you are part of the other course program, right? I'm from mechanical engineering background, and currently I'm an EV startup firm. Further, I want to enter in the OEM so I can give my expertise. Can you suggest a course link for mechanical design engineers? Mechanical design engineering. So you have to very specific again. Name is not mentioned. What you want to learn, as I told you, right? If you want to focus on mechanical design engineering only, we can help you with some course. We are not offering the mechanical design like CAD, CAM, and all those as of at this point of time, right? You can connect with us. We'll help you with the right course provider in this field. Even if you're not offering, we're ready to help you with that. I'm in cell modeling, and next step, I'm now starting learning analysis. As a next step, Prasanna, I'm in cell modeling. As a next step, I'm starting learning analysis. So it's a good thing. Cell modeling is good. You should also learn how the BMS algorithm work, how the cell electrochemistry works. So I could not understand, are you in the cell electrochemical modeling or you are in the equivalent circuit modeling? So there are two different things, right? You have to be very more specific person. You are doing the physics based modeling in the COMSOL or ANSYS, or you're doing MATLAB based modeling. uh, DJ, I'm currently working in EV as a service engineer, but need to work with AI in EV. Can you help on it? Yes, we are launching a course. You can again check the course link which we have posted, right? There is a course link which are AV for engineers, AV for AI for EVs, which we are launching next month again. So that course will be up. You can learn all the things about AI. Myself, I was heading the AI department in my last startup, right? So we'll definitely help you in the AI for EVs. Why do prismatic cells swell when they are charged to different SOC? See, okay, so cell swelling is a fundamental thing which happens because of not charging the. See, it's all about chemistry. Cell swell does not happen for suppose LFP cells are there, right? So if you're not charging or discharging them at very high C rate, if you are maintaining them at the right temperatures, the cell swelling will not happen, because cell swelling is an indication of gas discharge, right? So when when your algorithm of charging is not right, or you are charging at very high SOC rate, or your chemistry is not good, or your particular cell is not designed for that C rate, it is going to degrade the cell, and the cell swelling is the part of that. So cell swelling is an indication the cell is degrading. So please don't do that. If your cell is swelling, see, it's not, there are two things. One is volume expansion, one is swelling, right? We differentiate these two things. Volume expansion is a part of the process. They expand and contract, right? But the cell swelling is different thing. I hope I answered. You can send a more detailed question to us on this. What is the time I should spend if I'm opting for battery course since I'm working? Okay. So first thing is, your weekends of one weekend will be, if you're taking our course, one of the weekend will be going completely on this particular program. So either Saturday or Sunday, 3 hours you take session, and you have to be disciplined to spend 1 hour each day minimum, right? That will help you, because if you are not going in depth of the subject, if you're not doing hands-on, you'll not be able to learn. And we will encourage you with that process. We'll make sure that you are taking rigorous follow from you, so that you're learning, and our course content is engaging, so that you're not dropping out or you're not feeling left out in the process. Myself, Om Prakash, doing MTech in power electronics. I want to work in power converting. How can you help me? Okay. So we have one more course on power converter and DC-DC electronics. We are offering that in month of August as per the time plan. We have not launched it yet. Reason being, we want to go slow, right? And if you want to specifically want in our project, and enroll for our internship, right? We'll help you with that as well. You can work in our internship with us, because we are building our own custom hardwares. You can help us. You can take the internship over there. So build our own, and we are service providers also. As I mentioned, Techlanz is not just a course provider. We are service provider. We have multiple projects for the industry oriented. You can work on our projects as well. What basic knowledge is needed to start career journey on this? See, if you want to start a career journey, you should take a mentored course, right? And if you take any mentored course, I'm not saying take Techlanz course, it's up to you which course you choose. They will give you complete journey plan. They will tell you complete roadmap, how you should learn, what you should learn. So please take, if you don't know the thing, if you don't know the, as I mentioned, right, which course path to choose, if you are starting from scratch, please take any mentored course. It will help you grow. Would you consider providing customized training programs? So when are required to upskill the resources? Yes, we have corporate training programs also, where we are providing customized trainings. You can reach out to us for that. We'll give you that as well. Okay, next question is there a good scope of CFD or battery thermal management system? Yes. Look, man, there is a good scope of CFD in battery thermal management, but you should not limit yourself to CFD. You should learn 1D, 3D both. I myself, when I was in my master's, my project was on CFD, right? So I did my CFD of complete vehicle and all this thermal battery, or sorry, thermal and aerodynamics in detail. So there is a huge scope now, as the batteries are becoming more and more complicated. You should not only limit yourself to CFD, you should learn the multi-body dynamics, CAE, CFD, as well as 1D simulations. Combining all these things will give a comprehensive knowledge about the domain, because if you see batteries, they're not just thermal or fluid, they're electrochemical in nature, right? So you should learn the electrochemical properties of that. You should learn some tools like COMSOL, ANSYS, right? You should learn the 1D simulation, because sometime what happens, these detailed model are very slow to run, and industry need quick implementation. You should know how to develop the 1D simulation, how to do coupled simulation, 3D 1D simulations, right? It is very important that way. So you should be taking that kind of approaches for learning. Okay. Om Prakash, just answer my question. Where can I connect with you? You can please reach out to this message. You can drop a message to us, and you can drop a mail to us on this particular thing. You can join our community. There is a contact us form there also. You can reach out to from various places. There is a EV community. You can mention there also. You can join our EV community, where I'm part of that, and multiple people are part of that EV community. Right? This is from my side. I'm going to take a master's scope from e-mobility and management from Germany is going to be worth in the future scope. Okay. If you take some course from e-mobility and management, please see what content they are covering. There is a traditional thing which I have seen in the industry right now. They cover all the surface level knowledge or complete systems. As I told you, you should become expert on some area, be it battery, be it motor, be it embedded system or power electronics. Don't take a generalized course. It will not help you, because generalized courses are helpful for VP level people, CTO level people, where you have to manage technical team. Okay. And they have to, because their major areas focusing on management as well as commerce, commercial fields. Don't take generalized course. This is a sincere request to all of you who are participating right now. Take a course which can build a skill set for you. Okay. So see what they are training you. Sir, your views on fuel cell vehicles and related course. Very contradictory topic. Fuel cells, people were pushing the Toyota, Hyundai's and all, but they're not seeing that much momentum, right? So the future is electric mobility. I myself was a very big advocate around 5 6 years back when I was in Mahindra for hydrogen. Then because I was working on electric mobility, ICE engine vehicle, hydrogen fuel cells. But now when I see the traction, I'm not seeing that much traction on fuel cell vehicles as of now. Reason being, different positions are there. I'm not saying hydrogen economy will not be successful, because hydrogen will be used in energy sector also, right? Because if you see whatever different manufacturing sectors are there for burning the fuel, converting the alloys or burn. So an energy sector, hydrogen will be used definitely in an ecosystem for shipping country. But hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, if you see Toyota Mirai as a car, that is costing us in India around 62 or 65 lakh rupees, right? And there is no fueling station in country right now, right? So I don't think it will add much value to you as of now. So I would don't recommend you to go for fuel cell vehicle courses. It's my personal opinion, not Techlanz opinion or not my this one. This is my personal opinion. You should go for electric mobility. That will give you quick results when you transition to electric mobility, because 80% of component remains same, right? Fuel, because fuel cell vehicle also has a battery, has a motor and everything, right? It's just a fuel stack which is getting added up. Then when you are in electric mobility industry already, then you can upskill yourself in fuel cell also. That's the right approach I would recommend you. What are the services you provide in EV domain? We provide everything, because we ourselves build electric vehicles in the past. We are still building it, right? So we build all the components of it. So major three services which are mentioned on the website also: MBD, system engineering, and data analytics and AI. Apart from that, we provide testing services, electric vehicle development services. You can reach out to us for that. Electric e-mobility master's course is focused on powertrain and transmission development. Uh, uh, you see, you have to take a call. I cannot see the content of it, so I don't know what is there, right? So please, you have to judge by yourself. Is it giving you a proper understanding on the subject, right? So that is something important. How important is the current automotive external aerodynamics and EV industry? Does it play an important role? Is a job option in the field? Yes. Automotive external aerodynamics is important, because what is happening now, when we are migrating towards the EV, the engine sound is going away, right? So all the external sound, be it tire sound, external aerodynamic sound, is becoming more and more important, right? And there is a rush toward making the vehicle more aerodynamic. Everyone is rushing behind it. Be it Tesla, Lucid. You have seen, right? They have achieved a CD of coefficient of drag of 0.19, right? Because when you talk about long range vehicle, you need the long range vehicle for highways. Highways, the vehicle is supposed to be driven at high speed. When you're driving a high speed vehicle, the aerodynamics plays a huge role. So that's why the external aerodynamics become very, very important, right? It is very much relevant. Milind, further, if you want to contact you, you can please contact me. Please drop a message on this number. This is my support team will share that contact with me, or you can drop a message, contact us page me. Please share your credentials. We'll reach out to you. And please mention in detail what you're looking forward from us. I think all the things are answered. Thank you for your time, everyone. I think we could add value today's session in your life, and I hope that you learn things in detail, not only on surface level, and wish you very successful career path ahead. Thank you very much.